Following is an excessive force complaint against the Coral Springs Police Department. My name is Diop Kamal. I'm a police misconduct expert. I've been retained to look into this matter and assist the alleged victim in filing a complaint and launching an investigation through the police department and other appropriate authorities such as the U.S. Justice Department or other agencies. The man in the photograph is Jules Friday. He was the victim of a dog bite incident, tasering, and other acts of excessive force and unprofessional conduct allegedly by the Coral Springs Police Department. I have contacted Sergeant Mangini and his assistant to provide them with evidence collected thus far in our investigation, and I'm going to be going over some of the evidence during this short video presentation. Initially, I want to have the sergeant take a look at the photograph. And Sergeant, you'll see the injury to the right side of his face. I'm sorry, to the left side of his face. Mr. Friday contends that that injury was sustained not as a result of some legitimate use of force, but rather from a police officer having his boot on his face and smashing his face into the concrete. Mr. Friday starts out by saying initially the incident started with him committing no criminal act, essentially walking to a neighbor's house to get a cigarette. He somehow walked into a Coral Springs police investigation. Canines were set loose on him. According to Mr. Friday, he was mauled repeatedly in the groin, leg area, back, and a few other parts of his body. I'll be showing additional photos in a moment. You'll be able to see injuries to his face, as you might see here, injuries to his legs, his arms, and other regions of his body where, according to Mr. Friday, the dog repeatedly bit in. I also have evidence from the tasering, because I actually have one of the taser cartridges. I'll show you that in a moment. But at this point, let me allow Mr. Friday to comment in the video interview that I did with him just about a week ago in Tallahassee, and that video will be followed by some additional video footage of his injuries. I want to make it clear that Mr. Friday wants an investigation. He wants that investigation to start immediately. This morning I contacted the U.S. Justice Department to get information about how we might submit the same evidence to them. I'm going to ask them to follow the course of this investigation to ensure that the Coral Springs Police Department does a thorough investigation. I will also give you my preliminary assessment of the issues in the case. As an expert, I'm required to state a few things in the record, especially when I appear in court. We're not at that stage yet, but I'll do that anyway. My fee for the work I do is $7,500. That fee is being waived. My experience and resume can be found on the website policeabuse.com under Diop Kamal. You'll see my qualifications as a police officer. I worked both in the field. You'll see my qualifications as a police officer. You can see the remainder of my information on the website. For now, presume that I'll be qualified as an expert should I be called as a witness in this matter. Mr. Friday did not appear to do anything based on the information I have received just far that would warrant the sort of force that was used against him. If the force that was used against him occurred as he has described to me, I believe it was excessive. I believe that there may be grounds for criminal prosecution, and therefore I'm asking that the Coral Springs Police Department and the chief start an investigation immediately. I'm requesting that all records related to this matter be preserved. To be more precise, all radio and dispatch calls. I am going to be submitting a FOIA request for videos from police units at the scene. I am formally requesting on audio, and I'll be doing so in writing as well, copies of all police reports, any notes submitted by officers, supplemental reports written by officers after the event, and any publicly available portions of the accused officers' personnel files. At this stage, we don't have the names of all the officers, but I'm formally requesting the names of all officers at the scene, and specifically those officers involved with the arrest of Mr. Friday. At this stage, I will now turn to the video that Mr. Friday took with me, basically explaining the extent of his injuries and the reasons that he believes he was attacked.
Okay, I want to take a real good look at this. This is what they did to your leg.
That's what they did to my leg.
Jesus. Now, is that from the dog?
That's all from the dog.
The dog bit you that many times?
Yep.
Jesus Christ. They let the dog bite you. I'm going to point out the number of marks I see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, all on the back of your leg. The dog did all that.
Did all that. And not once while the dog was biting me up did I hit the dog at that time.
You didn't even hit the dog?
No. That's why my hands are messed up like this, because I kept taking the dog off and kept telling him, this is wrong, this is wrong.
I'm going to contact the Florida Department of Law Enforcement on this. Let me see, is your other leg the same way?
It's not like how that one is.
Okay.
There's stuff there, but there's like 3 paw marks up here, but it's not bad like the other one is.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, and ma'am, I'm going to do this off camera. I just want to get your voice as a witness, what you saw. And I'm sorry, I take these cases personally when I see something like this. There's no excuse for this.
None whatsoever.
This is not police work.
No, I told one of the officers on scene that night, I said to him, who was policing the policing when they're policing the people, because what you guys are doing are totally wrong.
You're Jules Friday's mom,
Yeah.
and can you give your name, please?
Theodora Correa.
Okay, Miss Correa. Tell me what you saw the night that your son was involved with the police where he was injured. Okay, I am recording. This is Kamal, policeabuse.com. I'm in a live interview with Jules Friday. Jules, you came up to Tallahassee actually on some business, but we're also here to talk about your case, and I want you to briefly tell me some of the things we talked about over the phone previously with regard to what happened with you with the Coral Springs Police Department. Now, I just want to make sure, because the most important part is the part you told me about what you were doing before you came in contact with the police. And in essence, what you told me is you simply went to get a cigarette at a friend's house, and it wound up in a major police encounter with the police actually attacking you and turning canines loose on you. Is that what happened?
Yes, that's what happened. That's correct.
Okay. And at the time, you weren't involved in any criminal activity. You were simply going to get a cigarette, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And when you were attacked by the canine, why did the police let the canine dog loose on you? Can you tell me that?
I think it's because they started tasing me,
Mm-hmm.
and I was taking the tasers out, and as I was taking the tasers out, I kept putting my hands back in the air and telling them I live right across the street. But I guess they felt like that effect wasn't enough, so they let the dogs go.
And they allow the dog to bite you near your genitals, correct?
Yes, they did. When I went down voluntarily the first time, instead of them getting the dog or stopping the dog, giving the dog the command to stop, they let the dog keep eating me up. And the dog bit me up close to my genitals.
And how many times were you bitten by the dog, if you know?
I could not even count and tell you.
Okay. And did you offer any sort of resistance? Did you fight back? Did you try to do anything did you ever try to run away or flee?
No, I did not try to run away or flee.
Okay. The police are going to claim that you did something to deserve the attack that happened. Can you think of anything that you did that would give them reason to use force against you?
I can't think of anything at all.
Jules is about to walk you through everything that happened to him April 6, 2012 at approximately 11 p.m. And we're standing in front of his building right now. Point to where your front door is, please.
Right there.
Right here. Right upstairs. Down the stairs. Where are we going?
Right across the street over here.
Right across the street over here. And what were you doing across the street over here?
I was right over here talking to kids and relax. Anybody who likes to get here.
Okay, talking with the people around here. Asking for a cigarette. Okay, so I'm staying right here. Show me where you went. Right over there. Right there. He said he asked if anybody had a cigarette. Somebody told him to go over to his friend's house, who was staying at the girlfriend's house, which actually lives right across the street from Jules' apartment.
Then, as I was over there, we were talking, whatever, and I asked if anybody knew I could find a cigarette. And my friend's pop said that his brother has a fresh pack of Newport. So I was like, okay. So I just go and grab it from his brother, which his brother was right across the street from me at his girlfriend's house, which is right over here. Where he was at the bottom right here, the bottom left. As soon as I got right here, 3 cops.
Okay, as soon as he got right here, how many?
3.
3 cops. And what'd they say?
They said, get on the ground. Aggressively. They said, get on the ground now.
Show me exactly what you did.
This.
What did they do?
They say get on the ground one more time, they start taking.
Okay.
My hand in the ear, like I said. I told them my ID was in my pocket.
Okay.
I lived across the street.
Okay.
And like I said, the second time they started tasing me. And started taking the tasers out. It wasn't right here where they started tasing me. It was around here where they started tasing me.
Around here. Okay.
I remember started taking the tasers out. Trying to put my hands back in the air. And then remember them releasing the dogs.
Where were you when they released the dogs? Right here?
I was up here, right up here.
Right up here. Okay. And there are still blood stains on the ground. Matter of fact, I see one right here. I hope that picks up because I can't see. There's one right there. There's more. Right here. Oh. Right here. Okay. Right here. Okay. And
Then there was a car parked right here.
okay.
And
Car parked right here, he said.